Um, I'm a mother and an entrepreneur. I'm also a certified executive and leadership coach. My background really has been in banking. I work for some of the top banks in the UK in change transformation programs as a communications lead. In 2015, I decided that my fulfillment and purpose was somewhere else. So I decided to make the shift and start my own coaching practice called Rocksteady Coaching. So I've been really working with people who are leaders or aspiring leaders looking to lead from a slightly different place, less conventional place, looking to lead from confidence, I would say consciousness and compassion. So that's what I've been doing recently. And I would say primarily working with women leaders. It has been an amazing, amazing part of my career and my life in general.
I can tell you've inspired me so much. So you said that you were working in the banking industry. So from the banking industry to coaching, why did you become a coach?
Such a great question. I've asked myself the same thing before I made the leap, and also very regularly along the way. I would say the simple answer, Lillian, is I became a coach to be of service. I've had people who have championed me, helped me, mentored me, and I wanted to find my own way of doing that for other people. And for me to empower others to kind of see their uniqueness was all about coaching for me. So yeah, it wasn't easy, but I decided to take the leap of faith, so to speak, so I could do my own thing, embrace my own purpose and fulfillment.
Yeah, like I know that there's so many professional women that are going through changes. Maybe they want to change profession, but they're not so sure. They're just thinking, that's too risky. It's kind of hard to even find out sometimes what it is that you really want. So how did you realize that maybe that's not what you wanted? You wanted to do coaching. How did you find out?
Yeah, I think everyone kind of sets on the path of life, and it doesn't always have to be the permanent path of life. And think about the degrees we have. For those of us who have degrees, we start one way, we may not actually end up working with those degrees. It's like work. You start on a path, and in that moment, that job is the best thing for you. As time goes on, you kind of think, maybe I'm not having all the fulfillment that I want to, whether it's in that job, in that team, in that organization, and so on. So for me, it was when I started to feel the call. There's a call. You start to feel that there's something else for you. And you may try to ignore it, and that's really natural. But at some point, the call gets so loud, Lillian, that you've got to do something about it. That's what happened with me. I felt that helping people to address sometimes the limits they put on themselves holds them back. I know it held me back for a long time, being afraid to leave the security, in terms of money, right? Financial security, we all have to pay our bills. Let's not get it twisted, as they say. So it's a natural thought to be like, am I ready to do this? But for me, the call was so loud that I had to make that leap. And I didn't just get up and leap, by the way, Lillian. I took my time, I prepared, I created a little safety net for myself, got trained as a coach. I didn't just say, okay, I want to be a coach and jump out. Our coach training, my coach training was 9 months. So it took a lot of planning for me to say, I'm ready to just move now.
Okay, something that really caught my attention. You've mentioned a calling and something that most people, because I remember how I was feeling. Now, it's not about me, but I know how my calling was manifesting. Do you have an example of like something very concrete so people can really feel or understand what you're saying when you're talking about a calling? How does that manifest?
It manifests in different ways. At first, it's a whisper. Is this the right place for you? How happy are you here? How fulfilled are you feeling? I know you're making great money, but is that what it's all about for you? And like I said, don't get me wrong, we have to pay our bills. So the calling started then. And then Lillian, I started to look around my office. I saw lots of brilliant people, brilliant human beings that hands in, head in their hands. They're exhausted, they're tired, they're stressed, and everybody just keeps fighting their way through it. And you know, sometimes you have this moment of clarity and it's a bit strange. You feel like you're out of the picture, looking down into it, although you're sat right there. And that kind of started to happen more and more for me. And I'm thinking, what could you possibly do to serve these people? What can you do to serve yourself? Because I was exhausted. I had developed stomach ulcers because I was working long hours, eating at my desk, not taking a break. All of those things were clues for me to do something. So the calling started and it got louder and louder and louder till I couldn't drown it out anymore.
Okay, another thing about that where I'm very curious. You had the calling, but usually there's something that happens. Was there something that triggered you to make that switch? Because sometimes the fear of changing is so high that we need a bit of a push or something.
Yeah, and sometimes when you're very disciplined, you can just step out and say, I've stepped out. But sometimes it takes you being kicked out of that nest, literally, by call it the universe, God, whatever you believe in, something kicks you out. For me, it was having a personal situation where I felt like I had to go back to work. So going through working, I was very pleased to see that I was with child, I was pregnant, right? And I really was so happy, and I was thinking, oh my goodness, this is amazing. But it didn't work out. And when it didn't work out, had surgery. Did I take time to recover? Did I take time to look at my mental health as I was hopefully looking for my physical health? The answer is no. I was so eager to get back to work that 4 days from when I had my surgery, I was sat at my desk, working, writing communication, smiling. So for me, that was a moment where I came close to, people don't talk about mental health. I came close to cracking. I'll be honest about that. So actually, that was the major catalyst for me to take a look at myself in terms of what I was doing and where I was in my life. I took my eye off what was important, what was truly important. And so, yeah, I decided I am doing this. And that's if you ask the question, that was the thing that got me to finally step out. Thank you. And Lillian, I think it's really amazing to have a forum where women and men can really share some of the things that they have been through, because I don't believe that we go through things solely for ourselves. I think we go through things so that we're able to share with others what it feels like, and sometimes how to have that empathy to allow the person to get back up, to share your story and how that helps somebody. They take, no matter how small it is, they take something out of it. And also the perception that we're perfect. Sometimes we look like, everything is going great. Yeah. You're driven, like you said, career woman, but behind that is a human being. And the things that happen in life happen to all of us, right?
It was obviously you've learned a lot. When you think about some transferable skills that you brought with you that now you're leveraging as a coach, I'm just curious, do you have like maybe one or two skills that you feel like today you're like that you're anchoring on almost?
Yeah, one that is obvious but real, nevertheless, is communication. People think we're born and we can talk and we can speak, and it's everybody has it. There is an art to it. There's an art to communication, and the art that I mean specifically is being able to listen. And that still helps me as being a coach. Just being able to listen, to understand somebody, not listening so that you can just put your point across. I am able to really stay present. I mean, we've been working together. It's about being present and holding space for the other person to understand things that are getting to them, the things that are important to them. So you can communicate on a more real level rather than just being something else or not coming from a place of being genuine. So communication, definitely. And also being able to run a business. Working as part of big projects and programs, I didn't know anything when I started in banking about project management. But I learned a lot about it, even working in communication, working with those people that were doing the milestones and, you know, go, no go meetings and stuff. And I use that in my business because it's been really, really valuable for me to be around. I've learned, I've kind of absorbed a lot in my, you know, many years working in banking.
Like, we are humans, we all have fears, that's a fact. But I think a lot of the time people are afraid to make that leap, because as well they're thinking, am I equipped? I'm just going to be brand new, and they don't realize that they have already great foundation from their personal background, their, but like what they studied, like everything is there, and we tend to feel like we don't know anything, when actually when you make the leap you realize, oh, actually it's not that hard. So yeah, totally. So for women out there, you know more than you think you know.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
I want to ask you for permission. Is that okay if I ask you questions about maybe some things that are a bit more personal?
Yeah, you got my permission. I may not answer it, but you can ask.
Okay, I know that you have a daughter, and I know that she means everything to you. And I just want to, because obviously I'm not a mother, I don't have kids, but we have so many females, obviously, that are working, that have kids. I just want to know, like, what has been your journey to becoming a mom, and, you know, just curious about that.
Yeah, so part of that we've spoken about in terms of taking my eye off what is important, and kind of going to a point where it was the window for me conceiving was kind of closing, let's just say. So I say for women who are looking to have children, or think they may want children, I have lots of friends who don't want children, and I say, good for you, because you know what you want. I know that I've always wanted to be a mom, and being a mom has been the best element of my life. I adore my daughter, and I'm so happy and grateful for her. If it is something that you think you may want or know you want, you've got to start paying attention to that. Because I know we're so driven and we're so wanting to find our place in the corporate world that sometimes we can take our eye off the ball. Not everybody does that. I know I did that. So if it is something that you want to do, start paying attention to it, because it's health, just like anything, right? You wanting to have children is part of you, who you are as a woman. So figure out what it is that you want and start doing something about it.